If you're thinking joining SubTo will make you money in the first 30 days, this video will save you. I've been in SubTo for 1 year, and I want to give you the ABCs of crushing it in your first 30 days. The first is action beats anxiety. The first time you're in SubTo, you have access to all these like hours and hours of courses. You're all hyped up if you're like me, because I watch all the free Pace Morby YouTube online, like hours and hours upon hours of it. And I was excited. I was hyped. I was anxious. But the first 30 days, what it requires is action, not hope and wishes that I will make money in the first week or the first day because of all the hype and how easy everything sounds. Okay, that's my dog Otis. But action beats anxiety. I created a custom GPT for bird dogs, and I gave it away for free. So it's a way that you use Chat GPT. It'll give you all the instructions, all the descriptions, all the guides, and literally hand holding you to become a bird dog. And I will give it away for free. And I realized that 98% of people, they quit within the first 7 days. Because here is the framework: do the bird dog work for 45 minutes a day. And I'll tell you, most people can't even last 5 days, let alone 7 days. I done it for about a month, but that's just the reality. So action beats anxiety. What I hear most often the first 30 days of new SubTo students is, I am overwhelmed. Why? Because you have access to private courses on private money lending, multifamily, RV parks, single family homes, co-living, mobile home parks, how to buy cars, how to buy a plane. I mean, there's so many different lanes, so you can get overwhelmed. However, at the end of the day, the way you crush it is taking action every single day. So, for example, let's get really tactical. Is to get on. There's about 40 live Zooms that you have access to on any given week. And so, number one is to go on the daily dials, which is at like, depending on if you're Pacific, Central, or East, it's at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. to get on that every day, so that you are fighting and overcoming your anxiousness of taking action, making phone calls, developing relationships. So that's number one. That's the tactical action you got to take, is to get on these Zoom calls. Fine. In the beginning, I was so hyped up. I went on like 10, 15 Zoom calls a week. And so that's what you got to do. And you got to build a relationship. Number two, in terms of like the tactical steps of taking action, is connecting with other people. Now there's like 30,000 people in the SubTo community, and so there's a lot of people, and so you got to connect with people. You gotta be like, hey, let's hop on a Zoom, let's get on a phone call, let's connect, let's share. And so there's gonna be some awkward connections, and there's gonna be some home run connections. I've had everything under the sun, but after a year, I now have some amazing partnerships and relationships. I would say the third tactical step in terms of action beats anxiety is what you got to pick a lane. So let's just say it's single family homes or it's co-living, and you got to take action on researching up the wazoo. I mean, there is now Pace GPT, but there's all these courses. And so usually for me is like late at night when I cannot Zoom with people, or if there's no Zoom meetings, that is when I would take action and research and learn and study. The worst thing that you could do as a rookie, as a new student in SubTo, is ask other people basic foundational questions that if you spent 5 minutes of researching and going on Pace GPT, that you would find the answer to, because that shows the veterans in the SubTo community. Number one, that you don't provide value, and number two, that you want handouts, and number three, that you don't do the work. I don't know how many people I've seen where they're like, I'm willing to do the work, I'll do anything, yet they're asking foundational basic questions. That doesn't mean that you can't ask dumb questions. Any question is better and than not asking a question. However, it's about how you show up. It's about your work ethic and proving your work ethic, that you're asking questions knowing that you have done the work of researching and studying and all of that. So for me, within the first year, I finished the safety courses. I finished the foundational courses. I've done all that work. I mean, probably within the first 2 or 3 weeks, because I'm that kind of student. But you got to take action the first 30 days, and I would say the first 3 to 6 months. Action beats anxiety.